Welcome in everyone to another fantastic Sunday here at Fantasy Farm Sports. I am Jack Stache. I will be giving you game winners and game picks today. I know that we kick off very shortly, but we've been doing our homework here and we're trying to get you guys the best information possible. Yes, that's right. Super excited. We got the New England Patriots finally on the jet, traveling to go visit the Denver Broncos. Look, I'm so sick and tired of hearing the lies all week. Jarrett Stidham hasn't thrown a pass in. You haven't been at practice. Stop it. Jarrett Stidham. Oh my God, I can't believe they don't have Bo Nix. Jarrett Stidham hasn't thrown a pass in 2 years, and first of all, he looked great in the preseason. Let's start there and stop with the Stidham slander, because that's all it's been all week. Oh, do you think he remembers how to throw a football? Does he even remember what a football looks like? I mean, does he know he's playing football? Shut up. Stop listening to ESPN. Stop listening to all these other entities talking about Jarrett. Look at, they're athletes. And you know, they're just great at things. You know, I try and work out every other day. I'm not an athlete. I do my best to try and stay in shape. But athletes that I know don't have to work out every day. They just wake up and they're strong. They just wake up and they can run a mile. It's just that simple for them. And Jarrett Stidham can just wake up and throw the ball 40 yards. That's just it. So he'll have to practice, and he hasn't not been practicing. It drives me absolutely Gwen Stefani bananas that you all week long, all we hear is, can Jarrett Stidham leave? The Broncos are a fantastic defense. Let's start there. Moss is a little handsy. We all know that by now. We watched him play Buffalo. Surtain is fantastic. I don't know if he's Surtain the first, second, or third. He's amazing. He's a lockdown corner. Let's start there. Right, and New England's got receivers, right? They've got Diggs, they've got Boutte, they've got a couple guys, but none of them are going to be able to beat Surtain at this moment, right? I'm a Diggs guy. Diggs at this point in his career is a possession guy. I don't think he's going to trick Surtain, and Surtain's a better athlete. So Drake May's got some problems. You know, it's not just going to be a cakewalk, right? Like, New England, if you look at New England in these playoffs, right, they played the Chargers, right? Justin Herbert had a bad left hand. You guys don't think that matters, but, you know, when you're thinking about it all game in the cold, and the Chargers had a bad offensive line, that Marion Hampton was just coming off an injury. No real number one receiver. I know everybody loves Ladd McConkey, but let's be honest. He's Julian Edelman, and New England's seen him before. They beat the Chargers. Big deal. Big deal. I never thought the Chargers were great. I thought they were a fine team. I thought they belonged in the wild card. And they beat a Houston team where CJ Stroud doesn't even look like he should play football in the league. Like that's what we're talking about here. In the weather that was in New England, Houston's defense looked great. Stroud gave the ball up 4 times. I mean, they were interceptions I could have had. So New England won again. Hurrah. And now they move on to Denver. Denver's not going to make mistakes. And, you know, I guarantee, how about this? I'll guarantee you Jarrett Stidham has a better game than CJ Stroud did. Okay, well, geez, what if that happens? What if he has a better game than CJ Stroud? Denver's got a real chance to win. Because Herbert didn't look great. Couldn't really move the ball. Didn't look himself. CJ Stroud was embarrassing. Let's just, you know, all you Ohio State or CJ Stroud believers, you can get on my message pages, and that's fine. But let's look at the truth here. CJ Stroud did not look like an NFL player. So, and New England didn't blow them out. They won. They didn't blow them out because Houston has a good defense. Well, does Denver have a good defense? Top notch, top 3 in the league. 1 in some categories, 3 in others. They're a top 3 defense. You know, they've got a good D line. And Drake May's in a moment too here where he hasn't been in. Let's not pretend like Drake Maye. I love him. He's a good kid. Seems nice. Super boring, which is how they like it up there in New England. But Drake Maye, let's not pretend like he went to the SEC or Big Ten. He didn't go to Penn State, Ohio State. No, he didn't go to Florida, LSU, Alabama, right down the line. Playing the ACC, North Carolina. He's a big kid. He's got a cannon. That's great. That's fantastic. But that doesn't set you up for moments like this. You are walking into Mile High, marching into Denver. Sean Payton, no nonsense. And just in case you guys want some background on Jarrett Stidham, that dude played at Auburn. Auburn's got to play Alabama, LSU, Ole Miss, no joke. Florida, when he was there, no joke. So he's been in big contests. And just in case you're wondering, Auburn doesn't get the best offensive line in that state of Alabama. Alabama gets the guys. So Stidham is used to big moments and being undermanned, right? Auburn hasn't been anything really relatively in the centuries. So Bo Jackson and Cam Newton. There, name me some more Auburn players. Got anything? No? Okay, we'll move on. Jarrett Stidham works really well with having not much. Okay, he's not the most amazing quarterback, right? He doesn't have all Bo Nix gifts and skills. Can he zip a ball? Yeah. 30 to 40 yard ropes? Not a problem. Josh McDaniels, by the way, knows all this because the history here, which they haven't taken much time to cover on any network, is Jarrett Stidham was in the Patriots system. Yeah, Josh McDaniels coached him. And there were times he looked good. And there were times where he didn't have anyone to throw to. And they wanted him to be like Tom Brady. He's not Tom Brady. He's Jarrett Stidham. And Jarrett Stidham, much like some other young quarterbacks, could use a buddy, a pal, a compadre, a guy that they feel comfortable throwing the ball to. And New England didn't have any of those. And he has some in Denver, right? He's got Cortland Sutton, big-bodied. He's got Franklin Burner from Oregon, familiar with Bo Nix. He's got Mims. Mims is quick. Everybody forgets about him. He could play a little bit better than you think. And oh, by the way, if all those guys fail him, he does have Ingram, right? So Ingram is this tight end that everybody forgets about, and that's fine. And the linebackers from New England will probably handle him okay. But if they do, then they still have to deal with RJ Harvey. And RJ Harvey is slippery. He's a great running back out of UCF down here in Florida. Made a name for himself breaking tackles. And he's just annoying. Not the man, but to take down RJ Harvey is annoying. And if you got to deal with him and Ingram in these linebackers, I think this is probably the most talented offense that New England has seen, right? CJ Stroud, bad knee. Justin Herbert, bad paw. Sure, you're not getting Bo Nix, but Stidham doesn't know. He's just kind of a guy in there who's going to sling the football. And you're going to be surprised because I think he's going to give them a really good chance to win tonight. I don't know if they're going to go over the top, but the Broncos were 5.5 points. Okay, they're 5.5 point dogs at home. It's embarrassing. They have a top-tier defense. They got a guy that can throw the ball. It's not like you're getting Brian Hoyer. It's not like you're getting somebody that's just not going to manufacture any yards here. Stidham's going to throw it, and Payton's going to allow him to do it. Is he going to throw 70-yard bombs? No, that's not him. But he's going to throw some passes that make you honest. And honesty being the best policy, you better respect that he can throw it past your ear hole. So that's kind of the matchup we're looking at right here, right? 5.5 point favorites has been bet down. In case anybody's trying to make some wagers and you're watching the bottom scroller here. You got Patriots, versus Broncos. The Broncos -4. So that 1.5 was bought down. It's very important to know that. Pros are taking the Broncos. For our one viewer, if you want to not have a mortgage payment this month, this is the podcast you want to watch, because I'm telling you, the Broncos are going to come out at home and surprise you. They're going to surprise you. I like this Patriots team. I think they're getting way too much credit. They're getting way too much credit. I like what Vrabel's done. I like what Drake May's been doing, but they really haven't been up against it. All right, they beat a Buffalo team early, and then they let them escape late. They're a fine football team, and if they were at home, I would love them even more. You got thin air. You got a tough kid in Drake Maye. We'll see what happens. Over under set at 43. I don't think we're going to have a lot of weather, and I do believe that that's a little low. So my prediction on game one, which is coming up here in just 19 minutes. We're 19 minutes to kick off. I'm air quoting for all you guys listening because it's not kickoff. It's 19 minutes until they hit the airwaves and they start telling you all of the lies that they've been telling you all week. Like, Jarrett Stidham hasn't thrown a football in 2 years. Lie. Jarrett Stidham, do you think he has a good enough knowing of the offense? He's been in for 3 years. These are all lies that they'll tell you before the game, and none of it's true. Jarrett Stidham's going to throw over 200 yards. Book that. He'll look more competent than CJ Stroud because he studies better. You can also book that. And you can also book that nervous look on Mike Vrabel's face when they march down the field and score a touchdown. Real nervous, Mike. You better figure it out quickly. I'm going to take the Broncos in this game. I actually think the Broncos are a better football team. I think the coaching is fairly even. I'll take the Broncos. I think that the favorite in the Patriots, I don't love them. I know they have Gonzalez. He's a little banged up at cornerback, right? They've got a couple other nice pieces, but I don't think the pieces are ready. I just don't. It's been a nice story. I think the Stidham story is going to live much longer than the New England Patriots. Give me the Broncos. I like the Broncos on the upset. That's just me. Upset at home. Home dogs. Okay. Move on. We've got NFC rivals, right? The NFC North has shown pretty well in these playoffs, despite the San Francisco 49ers looking embarrassing. They do have a couple other teams in it, right? So we got the Rams against the Seahawks. The Seahawks are at home. We know what the Seahawks did to San Francisco last week. It was hilarious. You could have shut the game off at halftime and then thrown your TV in the middle of the road. If you're a 49ers fan, that's probably what you should have done. It was an embarrassing game to watch. 49ers faithful should be not happy with that performance. I mean, that's just the truth. Kyle Shanahan didn't represent that team well, and he didn't coach them well. You know, Kyle Shanahan gets a pass all the time. He doesn't deserve it. He been to Super Bowls. It's great. You never won any. You know, and this is not. If any other coach did this, if any other coach put this team out there and got absolutely slaughtered by Seattle, you know, you have questions about his job. But the truth of the matter is, there'll be no questions about Kyle Shanahan. The Rams travel to meet Seattle. They split the season. You know, the Rams won one, Seattle wins one. That's kind of how divisions go at times. Darnold, still oblique. He looked fine. Didn't have to work really hard last week. And then you got Stafford. And Stafford and the Rams were in an absolute dogfight. They were an absolute dogfight last week. You know, Chicago looked good. They probably should have won. Caleb Williams kind of threw the game away, but then he kind of threw you into the game. So you got to consider those things with the Bears. I want to like the Rams here. I do. I want to like the Rams here. It's a 2-point game. That's what they're calling for. It's in Seattle. That defense, here's what I think. If Devonta Adams gets punished early, it's going to make life a lot tougher. If he's an older player, if he gets hit. And I mean absolutely smash, because that's what this defense does. They come for your lungs. That's what Seattle does. Like, if Seattle comes for the lungs of Davante Adams, it's going to make Stafford's job a lot harder, because he likes going to Adams when Puka's doubled. But if Adams takes one, he slows it up a little bit and he starts asking questions and he starts laboring. And I just think that the Rams need to run 2 tight end sets early. I think McVay knows that. If they can run 2 tight end sets and they can get some running game, that's where the win here. But they need to get those things going. Before I started this podcast, I really liked the Rams. I wanted to believe in what Stafford's going to do, but at the end of the day, I kind of believe that Seattle defense thinks too much of themselves. They think a lot. They're really excited in Seattle. They think a lot about themselves. So it's a tough lean here. It really is a tough lean. I'll take the Broncos at home. I said that earlier. I'm not a big fan of what, New England's definitely going to put out there. So I'll take the Broncos at home, and I'll take the Rams. It was my gut before I walked in here and talked to you guys. I'll take the Rams, and I believe that the Rams and the Seahawks, even though it shouldn't, I think that over comes in. And I think the earlier game kind of takes a little bit of time to get going. So, take the Broncos. We think Stidham plays well. All of your lying garbage that you listened to all week, put that to bed. The pros are betting the Broncos. They've bet the line down 1.5. Secondly, just be careful here. The second game, be very careful about, because youth can run wild. And I believe that if Stafford takes a shot, Davante Adams takes a shot, this Seattle team is young. And I think they'll take a flag or two early. That's my only fear. And they'll chuck some of the older players. And then you got to deal with some problems for the Rams. And I just don't know if Stafford's tough, Davante Adams is tough. If the youth of Seattle runs wild, it could be a problem. I do want to caution that. I love the Broncos today. Guys, I am Jack Stache. Give us a like. Subscribe to our channel. I'm here all year. That's my new motto, right? I'm here all year with you guys, giving you sports information, analysis, and picks. We'll come on here. We're building a community together. I would love if you came on and did an interview, talked about your favorite team, your favorite pick, your favorite bet. Come on here with me. Send me a message via Facebook, via YouTube, and come on here and just go, hey, I want 5 minutes to talk about my favorite bet, my favorite team, what I think is going on, and we'll go back and forth and we'll have a fun little chat about it from wherever you want, right? That's what we're doing here. We're building a community to talk about sports the real way. I'll see you guys next week. We start talking Super Bowl.